Feeling a hot low back. Hey guys, it's Dr. Kresimir here. I'm a chiropractor from London, Ontario, Canada. On today's video, we're going to be talking about strategies and sharing exercises and tips that you can do to heal up your back, prevent it from coming back, and even optimizing your health so you can get the most out of your body and live a happy, strong life. But before we get there, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and the video. It's totally free for you, and it's really, really helpful to us. Helps us get the word out. So I've divided this up into three categories, and the thinking and if this applies to you is essentially something's happened and now you have low back pain, or you've been having low back pain for many, many years. The principles, the ideas apply to any joint, whether it's your shoulder, whether it's your rib, whether it's your elbow. The exercises are going to differ, obviously, because those structures require different exercises, but the ideas, which is what I really want to instill to you, are going to be the same. The first one is managing the pain. It's really hard to do anything when you're in a lot of pain. I know I'm probably preaching to the choir. Now, oftentimes, the question gets asked, right? Well, should I use ice or should I use heat, or which drug should I take, or what supplements can I take to help lower the pain? Now, I can't comment about drugs. It's out of my scope of practice, but again, I want to give you the principles. So inflammation and pain are typically a response happening from your body, and they might be the cause of pain, but they're not the cause of the problem. So removing or artificially removing, by any means necessary, right? Whether it's medication, injections, supplements, ice, heat, might make you feel better, but it might not necessarily be fixing the problem. It could actually be making it worse. I published a study on email and on my Instagram, and it looked at the people who were getting joint injections, for chronic muscle pain. And it's interesting that I published the study, and this actually happened to somebody in my practice. And again, I'm not saying don't do it. I just want you to be aware of the ideas and the thinking behind it, right? So he got the injection, and as a result, the pain went away, pushed himself too far, and ended up going into the hospital, right? Because the pain is a signal that something is happening that's not necessarily right with your body, right? So we need to pay attention to that signal. We need to learn how to put your body into a better position so the pain is naturally reducing itself on its own. So good strategies are things like taking your fish oil and taking or drinking a lot of water, simply because that'll help flush out the excess inflammation. Simple things like finding a position that you can get comfortable in, particularly with back pain, that's pain-free. So hopefully you've watched a video where I talked about this before, but if not, one of the simplest things that you can do if you're dealing, because we're speaking specifically of low back injuries, when you're experiencing a lot of pain, two of the simplest things you can do is find somewhere and lay down to help take the pressure off of your back. This way, let your belly sink into the ground, and with every exhale, get that relaxation happening. If this causes more pain, the other thing you can do is to turn over onto your stomach and put your spine into an extended position like that. You might even have to start in this position like that, and as things relax, other positions that have been helpful are, on your side, a leg up. The point is, you want to take the pressure off of your low back. And I completely understand that there are some positions that, or there's some injuries that no matter what you do, there's going to be some level of pain. And I understand sometimes the pain is inconsistent. But, the first step is, and the other thing that helps, I just popped into my mind right now, I was going for walks. Movement is medicine. I heard many, many people that I respect, many PhDs and top-level doctors talk about movement is medicine. And thankfully, the trend is starting to get away from things like ice packs, heating packs, and things that artificially remove any type of pain. That's number one. So we're trying to get into a place where we're more comfortable and then we're able to do things. Step number two is to develop mobility into that area. One of the ultimate tests, and as far as I'm concerned, if you could just do this, because it tests so many different joint mobilities with one fell swoop, is learning or getting into a full squat position. So what's a full squat position looks like? It looks like this. My feet are shoulder width apart. My toes are pointed forward. My legs are relaxed and open. And if you were to see me from the side, my spine is straight. And I can hang out in this position for at least 10 consecutive minutes with no pain and with no discomfort. And the reason that's important is because I am in order for me to be able to do that, I'm simultaneously testing my ankle mobility, my knee mobility, my hip mobility, my lower spine mobility and flexibility, and also some muscle endurance. Now the challenge is, if you can't do that, it can take it's really long. It can be a really long and really hard and arduous process to learn how to do that. And for some of you, it might even be impossible. I know that there's people watching this video who have had knee surgery or ankle surgery. So some of these joints are fused, and there's other ways that we're going to have to test, that mobility. But here's the point. It's vital. And you can do these things concurrently, right? You don't have to wait till you're completely out of pain to learn how to squat. The point is to start the process of getting out of pain and then start the process of learning how to move and how to squat. And the reason that you want to do that is you shouldn't be loading up joints with weight until they're fully able to move. If they're not fully able to move, you could be placing them in awkward biostructural or biomechanical positions, and then loading them up with things like your grandchildren and lifting things up. And weight training can put you in a position where you are compromised. And that could cause more damage. And the last one to think about is, once you're mobile or on the way to getting mobile, you want to develop strength. Oftentimes what happens with people who are mobile is they move really, really well, sometimes too well. They move beyond their anatomical limits, and now as a result things are getting chronically re-injured, right? There's this, everything keeps going out. I feel good for some time, and then I'll do something seemingly innocent, and then things will start to hurt again, or I'll feel like my back goes out. Those tend to be signs of not hypermobility, but instability, right? And if instability is a thing, which can happen, by the way, as we get older and things degenerate, and if we've injured our back a lot of times, there's a lot of arthritis in our spine, what can happen is instability starts to happen. This is where strength training or strengthening things becomes really, really important. One of the things you're going to want to strengthen is your core. And remember, your core is more than just, I'm going to do sit-ups. Your core is, so glutes, bird dogs, your core is side planks, your core is heavy lifting. Your core is also deadlifting and squatting, and deadlifting and squatting relatively heavy weights. Keep in mind, because I've heard this advice and I don't like it. I've heard advice like you shouldn't squat or you shouldn't deadlift. Squatting and deadlifting mimics things that you are going to be doing in real life. So a physician that tells you that you shouldn't deadlift, in a way, is telling you that you shouldn't be able to pick things off the ground, because that's all deadlifting is, right? Deadlifting literally is taking something off the ground like a child, or something like a bag of mulch or something in the garden, picking it up and moving it. So, you should be able to do those things. And you should be able to do those things in a way that's safe and in a way that's going to prolong your life. So the strategies, again, you want to get out of pain. So look for positions, try to avoid as best as you possibly can. I know sometimes it's necessary, I totally understand that. Any type of artificial pain relievers because it's going to give you a false sense of security. Number 2 is develop mobility. When it comes to your low back, work on that squat. And yes, it can take a long time to get there, but it's going to be worth it if you can get there. And the last one is to develop strength. And strength means not just strength of your core, but relative general strength like squatting and deadlifting. If you have any questions, please post them below. I hope you found this helpful, and we'll talk to you soon.